YouTube this man's name, Dr. Malachi Z. York, The Descendants of Angels. And another one, The Reality of Life After Death. Oh my God. Listen to what this brother said. This brother said, how do you know in the future that you will not be able to actually get on the phone and call a person that actually have left the planet already? He said, how do you know? It's like you said 50 years ago, if somebody would have told you about microwave ovens and you'd be able to fix a meal in seconds, you would have thought they were crazy. Just like they thought Elijah Muhammad was crazy when he talked about a mother plane out in our midst. But like the brother said, technology is moving fast. Imagine we're in the 2015 already. 15 years has passed since 2000. Time has been sped up. And we are living in a time that is constantly moving. Technology is being to the point that telephones are changing so rapidly. And remember, telephone and all these signals and stuff are invisible. So how do we know that the time won't come where you be able to get on the phone and call somebody in another star system? How do you know? So that's why brother said, don't doubt anything. And one of the rewards for being and trying to get at one with the Most High is that when you leave here, you will leave here and pass through this body and pass through this life fully conscious, still fully conscious. That's a profound statement. But it's coming from a man who Elijah Muhammad said to look for. And there's certain things and information that the brother had that let you know this is absolutely the man that we are supposed to be looking for, because he said the man that's coming also is going to bring our ancient language. And when he gets here, we are supposed to accept this language so we can be classified as an independent nation of people. And we cannot be classified as an independent nation of people speaking another people's language. So that was one of the reasons why the language had to come. Well, who is this man that can bring a language to the planet that have not been on this planet since the languages got confounded at the Tower of Babel? Think about that. The languages got confounded. So the original language has not been on this planet since that time. So who is this man that can bring this language back to the planet? That's the question. And the question is for us to ask ourselves, who are we really? Who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? These are the questions that they do not want you to even ask yourself. They keeping you away from all of that. That's in a bit saying, you know, Jesus came. Let me tell you something. Religion is the #1 enemy on this planet, because you have nations that are killing each other for the sake of what they believe. I was on YouTube and I saw this thing where in India, here's a man that claimed to be a Christian, and some Hindus came to him and asked him to denounce Jesus and become a Hindu. He did not. They set this man on fire. One of their own brothers. Religion is the #1 enemy on this planet. You got people in Africa talking about Jesus, and then you got people in Africa talking about Allah. And they fighting and killing each other over this belief. And there's no disrespect to no religion. It ain't got nothing to do with no religion. This religion was put together by these Satanists that run the planet. And we have got to come to grips with that. My brother was a Muslim. My other brother was a Hebrew Israelite. And I considered myself a Christian in the same household. I told somebody that. I said, what you think about that? And he said, damn, sound like war to me. But guess what? There was no war between us. We were brothers. We did everything together. In the street, out the street, worked together, everything. I don't give a damn about my brother. And one of my brothers was Hebrew Israelite. So he the one that kept me attached to Israel. And then my other brother who was a Muslim, he the one kept me attached to Ishmael. Both sons of Abraham. So why am I sitting up here going to argue about something like that? Because you got these white Jews now that's running around here causing a lot of problems. Well, we the special seed around here and all this running these movies about the Exodus and keeping us brainwashed and whitewashing our story. That's our story. Let's make this clear. Abraham was black. All the prophets was black. Ain't no angels came down here in no other color but black, melanin in their skin to protect them from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. That's a fact. That's a proven fact. So now, all these people running around here want us to believe this and believe that. You can believe something 100% and be 100% wrong. And again, if Jesus came here to change the law like they want to condition you to believe, in other words, you know what? Here's my whole problem with that. Everything Jesus said, they got that, they have you thinking, well, brother, well, we know that's what he said, but this is what he meant. No, nigga, he meant what he said. Keep talking about he didn't mean that. He said this and meant that. That's that devil mentality that's got you thinking stupid. And what we want to do is get people off of anti-stupid. That's what this is all about right now. It's talking about thinking and doing your own thinking so you can help your children to think and get our children away from this nonsense. The war against our children is because they got these white children following them. I was at the gas station this morning, and this young white kid got out, had that hip hop rolling. He got out of his car, had his hat turned all to the back and stuff, and I looked at him. I said, oh yeah, these white folks do not like that. You know why? Because their children are going to be the ones to take over. And all of their kids are following our youth. The seed of Abraham, these young hip-hop generation don't have a clue as to who they are. But they have the world's children following behind them. So these white, young, Caucasian, young people that eventually will wind up taking over, if they don't do something about this, these white children will open up the doors for power and share it with these young people. They don't want nothing like that, just like the hippies. Remember them hippies? The hippies they whooped them hippies' ass. They had to pull them back into submission. Because remember, the hippies were the liberals. The hippies were like, hey man, peace baby, not make love, not war, pass the weed. You follow me? So that was the hippie generation. The powers that be could not handle that because they said, oh my God, these are children that's going to wind up taking over. And if we don't do something to get them back into submission, then when they do take over, they're going to open up the doors for these niggas. We can't have that. And that's true. If anybody can remember, just go back. They was whooping them hippies left and right. Why? They was whooping them back into submission to what they wanted them to be, what they wanted them to do. And that's the facts. They had to change their mindset, say, we can't have that because we going to have our kids open up the door for power to these niggas. It ain't going to happen. So now the same thing's happening with this generation, hip-hop generation. Got their white kids running around there. Let me tell you something. Michael Jackson was assassinated because what Mike didn't understand, you got the whole world's children looking up to a black image. This is why they had to condition Mike to change his image. Mike was taking around all them white folks and his mind had been messed up because he had a problem with his nose, and that's why he didn't want to have no children with a black woman. Because he was so caught up in his looks that he did not want a child to come out looking like he used to look. And these white folks had been around him and circling him, and they knew they was going to market him because he was an international, what they call star. I get away from that term star. But he was an international icon. And he had them white children falling out. He can just do, Mike just did that. And, oh my God, they fainting and falling out and screaming and going crazy. That's the only man in the world could just make that one move. And they just pass out. That was too much power for a black man. So what did they do? Condition his mind for him to lighten his skin. Hey, my vitiligo, get out of here. F out of here with that BS. So my vitiligo. Mike was conditioned to want to be white. And that's all that was. They conditioned that brother's mind so they could push an image other than a black man. Now, when Mike did the album Thriller, Handsome Black Man, they still couldn't have that because he was an international icon. They could not have these white children all over the world looking up to a black image. And that was all. That's what that was all about. Then he became radical. Mike was a smart brother. He became radical. He started talking about things like he called that Tommy Mottola a devil. He started calling them for what they were. He started seeing certain things. He had to go. He wasn't this old same old Michael Jackson, soft-spoken and all of that. Mike was getting radical, and they couldn't have no nigga like that becoming radical, because if Mike get radical and start saying things out of his mouth, the world would listen. He had to go. Bottom line is that they are scared. They running scared. They know we living in a prophetic time. The ships is out there in orbit, and I know how it sound. It don't matter how it sound. I used to ask myself, all right, or ask the Most High, how do I say something like this? And my spirit said, just say it. Don't worry about who don't like it. Don't worry about what people think about it. If it's based on truth and facts, say it. Because you're going to have people out there that's going to hear this, and they got to hear this. Because I'm going to say it again. Elijah Muhammad said, when and not if, when you see these ships coming, know for a fact that there's a civilization of people on these ships that look like us. And he's right. Who are these beings? The same beings that came here in the ancient time of Samaria, who came to this planet, set everything up, created a being, and that's what these are the beings that stood around and said, let us make a man in our image. If that was the Most High, he would have said, let me make a man in my image. That wasn't a statement. The statement was, let us make a man in our image. This was the group of gods, the group of beings that was here from this star system. They went back home. They took Enoch. Enoch was so good. He was so righteous in their eyes. They literally came and took Enoch, put him on one of these ships, took him out of here with them, took him out in space. He was the first one to actually take rides on these ships. And you can too. Know this for a fact. This is why these people are feeding us these wrong foods and everything. They are destroying our bodies. If we had the right diets, you don't have a clue. You could be an Enoch, where these beings will come and get you also. You heard about the rapture? Well, what is the rapture about? Poof, and they disappear? No, like they're making the movies. One disappeared and the other one was left there. Man, come on with that BS. This ain't no poof theory. These beings come in and get people. And that's why it's important to change your diet. You could be an Enoch. Back then, Enoch was eating fruits and vegetables and things of the earth. He wasn't eating no pork chops and bacon and all that old nonsense. You follow what I'm saying? This is very important to understand. So again, you could be an Enoch because when these beings come, the scripture is very clear. And I saw a holy city coming down. The New Jerusalem. A New Jerusalem, meaning all the things of the old is going to come and is going to pass away. These people have been in power for 6,000 years, and when a king been on his throne for 6,000 years, he going to leave kicking and screaming every step of the way. Know that for a fact. Do you think these people want to get off the throne? They've been ruling the earth for 6,000 years. No, they don't want to get off the throne. That's why they're doing everything that they can to squash information. They want to rule the airwaves. They are ruling them. They want to rule the music that you listen to, the television, the advertisement, the churches, the mosque. They are ruling all of this, every aspect of our lives, and that's why we have to think independently. We have to do our own independent thinking. And back to Jesus. Who is he's one of these beings? These beings came here. They would come back and forth. Ezekiel, in his book, called it a wheel and a wheel. He described the aircraft coming down. He said the Lord visited him in the aircraft. Damn what y'all talking about. That's what he said. And people want to look at, well, no, you know, back to that. Well, you know, we know that's what he said, Mac, but this is what he meant. No, nigga, he meant what he said. We don't quit talking about where somebody said this but meant that. We're getting away from all that nonsense. Because it's time for us to step to the plate and be real men and real women and teach our children real things, not this ghost type mentality that they taught us on the plantation. Now think about it. They taught this to us on the plantation, and we still teaching that to this very day to our children. This is important. This is critical. And people look at me like, you know, that brother talking about, this ain't deep. This is just common sense. That's what this is all about. Jesus again. I came here from another world, another star system. I came here to tell y'all some things that you don't know nothing about. But I came here to reconnect you to the source of your being through prayer and meditation. Through meditation and prayer, you will be connected, and you won't find yourself saying, man, something told me to do that, something told me not to do that. Because when something speaks, you will listen, because you're now connected like you've never been. I've been self-employed for 30 years, and I've run up to 22 guys, and been training them in construction and painting and everything. And people used to tell me, Mac, you lucky. Nigga, I'm not lucky. I'm connected. And we are all supposed to be connected. I had to get away from that nonsense in the church. They ain't teaching me connection. Now, going to church is good, don't get me wrong, because I used to have to go there dealing with negative builders and stuff. I went to church to lift my spirit so I would feel good. But if I wanted to learn about what Jesus actually taught, the church is just not the place to go. Now, that is an absolute fact. If you want to feel good and congregate with the people, that's cool. But if you want to know about what Jesus taught, that is not the place to go. We have got to get back to what he actually taught. And he did not come here to die for our sins. He came here to teach us how to be reconnected. And if he'd have changed the law, that means that you could break a heart and don't worry about a heartbreak. That is not the way it happened. If you break a heart, you got a heartbreak coming by law, and there's nothing you can do about it. This is the law that he did not come to change, but other people got us thinking that he did. So only thing we're doing, again, this program is set for us to make our hoping that our light bulb will go click, and we be like, oh my God, I'm being enlightened. And that's what this is about. To shine a light in that dark space of our minds where they have disconnected us from the source of our own being. They have disconnected us. We have got to get reconnected. Understand that these ships are in space, and I have spoken to NASA's head research scientist a few times. This is what made me say, hey, I ain't got nothing to do but say it. I don't care who don't believe it. When I spoke to NASA's head research scientist in Houston, I ain't got to say nothing else to nobody. I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. And I don't care if nobody like it. Damn what anybody like. We here to tell the truth. They tell me real men pray. No, real men acknowledge the truth. Real men tell the truth and don't give a damn about who don't like it. That's real men, and that's what time it is. We want real men and real women to step to the plate to help our people do the things that must be done. I thank you for tuning in to this program. The kingdom is within. The unspoken truths about the Messiah Jesus, a black extraterrestrial being. And we'll see you again.